Alright, so Mac Miller just dropped his new album, Swimming, August 3rd. It has 13 songs and it runs for 59 minutes. The album cover, we see Miller is seated with his eyes closed, probably in a meditative state. Swimming could refer to Miller swimming or diving into his thoughts in regards to um, self-care, acceptance, and finally reaching an inner peace, because as we know, he's been through quite a few things. His breakup with Ariana, the car accident he had, and basically battling his sobriety. So I think the title Swimming suits this album. But anyways, moving on, singles, we have What's the Use featuring Snoop Dogg and Battle Cat, and we have Self Care featuring JID. Standouts, we have What's the Use. It's the second single. Mac grabs Snoop and Battle Cat for an airy funk type record. We have Self Care. Mac recollects how the media perceived him and how he himself learned from the situation. He says, "Self care, I'm treating me right. Yeah, hell yeah. We gonna be alright. We gonna be alright. That Mercedes drove me crazy. I was speeding. Somebody saved me from myself. Yeah." So right there, he's basically speaking to taking better care of himself, and he references the accident he had in his G-Wagon, and he basically was saying that situation was basically a cry for help for him. And then we have Small Worlds. Mac does some self-reflecting and discusses his issues and how he's dealing with them. He says, "I might trip. I never fall. God knows I've came close. Don't try this at home. I know I probably need to do better. Fuck whoever keep my shit together. You never told me being rich was so lonely. Nobody know me. Oh well, hard to complain from this 5-star hotel." And basically, this is another song speaking to what he's been going through. He says, I might trip, basically saying he might falter off the path of doing what's right for himself, but he's never fallen to the point of no return. He's telling his audience, not to imitate what he's been going through. And he says he knows that he needs to do better. So he's taking accountability for himself. And he basically saying, with having so much money, he kind of feels isolated. And then he said, it's hard to complain from this 5-star hotel. Basically, it's hard to complain when you're rich and famous. So track 5 and track 8 already, you already see Mac Miller heavily involved in self-reflection, which is cool. And then we have track 12, 2009. Mac reflects on life before the drop of his mixtape Kids, all while bringing things full circle in terms of who he is today. Sleepers, we have Come Back to Earth, Hurt Feelings, Perfecto, Ladders, Conversations Part 1, Dunno, and So It Goes. Skips, we have Wings and Jet Fuel. My personal favorites are Come Back to Earth, Hurt Feelings, What's the Use, Self Care, and 2009. My overall conclusion, Mac does a lot of self-reflection and is at the point of taking better care of himself. And I thought it was a pretty solid album, and I gave it an 11 out of 13, which comes out to an 84%. So overall, it was a pretty cool album. I like how he basically used this album as a way to speak on everything that he's been going through and how he's made the necessary changes, to better himself. Because, going through a breakup like that and being in a car accident, battling sobriety, that's a lot for one person to deal with at any particular time. So this was a pretty dope album. But anyways, moving on, if you're a fan of Mac Miller, be sure to pick up this album. If you enjoyed my review, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.